shout out to one of our sponsors, Shane Tourist Transportation. If you guys want to go to a beautiful island, go to Jamaica. If you fly in through Montego Bay, hit up my friend Shane on WhatsApp. His WhatsApp number is 876-886-3833. I'll say that one more time. 876-886-3833. His name is Shane. His taxi is above and beyond nice, has air conditioning, heater, TVs. I mean, he gave me the royal treatment when I was out there. Ask him to give you the Queen Myesha special. I got you, Shane. All right, so it's time for our first guest. Now, I kind of already talked about Jamaica a little bit about a few seconds ago. So I'm going to introduce straight from, well, born and raised in Kingston, one of my favorite reggae DJs, because you know I'm a reggae lover. I love reggae. I'm going to introduce DJ Hype.
Up. Madam Mean. It's a girl power team.
How you doing on this lovely Friday?
Oh, feel good.
Yeah?
Better than I deserve.
Oh, okay. All right, so DJ Hype. I'm gonna come at you with the questions now. You ready?
Anything you say.
So tell us about who you are. Tell us what you do. If people who don't know who you are.
Oh, just, you know, DJ Hype. Who's DJ Hype? The baddest DJ. That's the slogan, by the way. Just a guy who's trying to, you know, have his culture here in Sacramento, California. Pretty much just whatever the culture is, I'm there, you know. Artists, promotions, you know, reggae dancehall, Afro.
Yes.
The whole works, you know.
I remember when I first moved out here to Sacramento, I think you were one of the first venues I came to. And I remember when I was living in the Bay Area, I was like, I don't know if they really have some good reggae clubs out here. And when I came to your club, I was like, yeah, I've arrived. This is what it's all about. You know?
Yeah, because basically, you know, I keep it current, and my goal is to transcend that vibe from Jamaica.
And you do a really good job of doing that.
You know, so if a Jamaican came right off the plane, he's gonna feel at home.
Yes.
That's the goal. You know, that's what I promote.
Yes.
As well as people who really love the culture, as well. You know, keep it fresh, keep it current.
Yes.
You know.
Okay, so how did you get the name DJ Hype?
Oh, in high school, I was just a hyperactive person. You know, used to beat on the desk. Used to be the, if you want to call it, class clown.
Yeah, I can probably say that. Okay.
Yeah, so everyone used to just call me Hype.
Uh-huh.
And then I became a DJ, so what better name?
DJ Hype.
There you go. That's how that came about.
So you were hyper.
Always. That's my personality. You don't know.
Okay. And so now people want to follow you on social media. How would they get a hold of you?
Oh, of course. First and foremost, Instagram, DJ Hype Music. And it was spelled DJ Hype, DEJAYHYPE Music. Also, you can if for the Facebookers, I have a Facebook production page as well, Lifestyles Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Also, DJ, there's a page for DJ Hype on Facebook, and then even Snapchat. Not a big Snapchatter, but you know.
Yeah.
But you know, DJ Hype on Snapchat as well.
Yeah, they'll find you.
Yeah.
So what venues do you have coming up?
Oh, yeah, I'm the kind of DJ who just kind of log it in the back of my head and then wait till, you know, the time comes, then I like, okay, where I got to be this Saturday. But if I can think, Thanksgiving weekend, I have a big, a huge party Thanksgiving weekend. I think it's the Saturday. And we have some special guests coming from Jamaica. That's going to be downtown Sacramento.
And who's that special guest?
His name is Boom Boom. He's one of the current top DJs in Jamaica.
What?
So yeah, we're doing a Thanksgiving bash. I'll be there on the ones and twos. The big event, DJIP yearly birthday bash. This is gonna be the 17th annual birthday bash.
17 in a row.
17 in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, from the
Live
days
up
of
your birthday.
when nobody was doing birthday bash, I've been started that. Yeah. So this is gonna be the 17th staging. So that's coming up in December.
Okay.
What I think is December 15th. What again? Every Sunday night, I'm downtown. I'm at the Streets Pub downtown. That's 1804 J Street, and that's just the current event. Should we go over into the next year? We'll just.
Well, I wasn't able to come this Sunday, but I had some friends that were there.
Oh, you missed the vibes, yeah.
They said it was the place to be.
Yeah.
It was packed. They said you were dressed as sharp as a knife.
Oh, well, thank you. My goal, my costume, I guess, was Diddy.
Oh,
so I came with a whole Diddy swag, yeah, the whole full black and the hat and the shades and the whole,
Oh, I missed it.
So, yeah, well, it was a good vibe, real good vibe. I love Sunday night. Everybody, people were in their costumes and,
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's one of their favorite venues this Sunday. The Sunday venue. So, did a good job.
Thank you. Hope to see you there next Sunday.
Yes. I'll see if I could bless everyone with my presence.
Queenly presence.
There you go. I'll just glide in, So I want to know what inspired you to become a DJ.
Okay, just being a music lover from a younger age. As I said, it goes back to school days. I literally love music so much to where I didn't eat lunch. I take my lunch money, and as soon as the bell hits 2 o'clock, I go straight to the record store. And I used to buy records and just save them. Of course, I go home and eat my dinner. So that was my whole vibe. But I was collecting records because I know one day, I might be this big DJ. So that's, And then, coming to the United States, some of the people that I inspired because, I had put that dream aside for a second. But some of the people that I had groomed while I was in Jamaica, their names was on the headlines. So you imagine you groom somebody and all of a sudden you look on the news and realize this person is one of the biggest, hottest DJs. And you're like, well, wait a minute, I taught him everything he knew. So you know what? Then I relaunch and here I am.
Yeah, so let's go back to where you were born and where you were raised.
Okay, I was born in Kingston, raised in Kingston also. So that's Jamaica for all who don't know.
So hold on. So usually when I hear I'm gonna take that back. Not when I hear Kingston, because I've heard a lot of good things about Kingston. But usually when people hear things about Kingston, the first thing that comes in their head is like it's rough.
Rough.
Yeah. Like you have to be rough.
Yeah.
To be born and raised and
Yes.
to come out with no bullet wounds or stab marks.
Yeah, but that's all a stereotype, you
Okay.
know. It's kind of like crime and violence is everywhere in the world. There's some parts of New York that you cannot go, and that's the United States, right? There's some parts of Chicago that you can't go. So, but it's definitely a place that made me a militant person. 'Cause growing up, if you couldn't defend yourself, you would have got picked on. So you had to learn from a tender age, you know.
So you were fighting?
But, not to say fighting, but you got to know how to defend yourself, or you know, hey.
Y'all don't
Survival
mess
of the fittest.
Don't mess with him. He already
No,
said
I am harmless.
He had to put knots on people's head from a young age. Don't mess with him.
I'm harmless, but I probably can defend myself. But yeah, so growing up in Kingston, there's many different parts to Kingston. There's places where we have good, decent neighborhoods. Just like anywhere else in the world. We have one of the biggest universities. You have lawyers. You have doctors. You have fun places, like, because Jamaica is like a party capital, and so it depends on where you go. So sometimes when people stereotype Kingston, it's not the entire Kingston, as in someone saying, hey, don't go to New York. It's not the entire New York, You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yeah, there's good fun places in Kingston you can go.
So was there like neighborhoods or like sectors? Like
Yes.
Where were you? Where were you?
I was born in the rough neighborhood, you know. Yeah, so born and raised there until I, you know, got older and obviously kind of removed myself, you know, from that. But, you know, when you grow up there, that's all you know, so it doesn't seem like anything, you know.
So the transition from Jamaica here, did you come by yourself? I mean, what inspired you to make that trip?
Yeah, you know, I've always was fascinated with the whole growing up in those times. It was like BET, the basement. You know, just as a real youngster, you know, I used to admire those DJs, and I could see, you know, what they're doing in the United States, and I always wanted to do something like that. I always wanted to broaden my horizon, you know, and take my craft to another level. So I decided I was gonna give it 3 months, and if I didn't like it, I was gonna go back to Jamaica. So, you know, came, and it was, you know, okay, but my friends convinced me to stay. So
and
here
now,
I am.
Where did you first go when you came to United States?
I went straight to LA.
Oh, so you weren't playing around.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then LA to SAC, and by the time I got to SAC, I was like, "Oh, get me out of this place!" But you know, it's home. You know.
You're here.
Yeah.
You
Here,
brought your
yes.
culture with you. You
Yes.
brought the music with you, and I noticed that you are really up to date on the music. Because like when I go to Jamaica, I hear the music, or if I listen to like some of the stations, and then I hear you DJ, and a lot of other reggae DJs, they don't, you know, play that current music that you play. How do you keep up on that? Like, are you always on it, like fishing for the new music, or do you just have connections where you can get that new music?
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of like you keep your ears to the streets, you know, and because I am from there, it's kind of like I can hear the sound. It's a different sound. Okay, so let me break it down for you. Like you will have like a Afrobeat DJ, right? Who's probably say from Africa. He probably can hear a distinctive sound in his culture that I, as a reggae DJ, probably can't hear. So he would be more master of that craft. So even if I can play Afrobeat, I wouldn't be as versatile as that DJ. So it's the same thing with the reggae. I'm Jamaican. Reggae is born in Jamaica.
It's in you. It's in your DNA.
It's Jamaican music. So what you find is having someone who's not from Jamaica playing the reggae. So they're not hearing the same authentic sounds that I'm hearing being a Jamaican.
Okay.
Make sense?
Okay. So I feel you. So you're saying that
and also I may add that knowing what's current in Jamaica, it's kind of like just a love I have and a goal to bring that here in Sacramento. You know, as I said, if someone step off the plane from Jamaica, they feel at home. You know, if someone from Sacramento go to Jamaica, they can recognize the vibe, because wait a minute, this guy in Sacramento, he plays the same, so it's not going to be foreign. I'm in a foreign country. I'm not used to this, you know.
Yeah. So how long have you been DJing in Sacramento?
About 15 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So are you? Would you consider yourself one of the veterans?
Well, if that's the name, if that's the cap, I'll wear it. You know, anything that's over a decade, you become a vet, right?
Yeah.
After doing it for, I guess that's a long enough time to, you can call it that.
Okay.
You know, because I mean, I am at a position where I'm ready to teach, and which I've been doing, and bring other people on. You know, share the joy. Young DJs coming up, they can, you know, come see me, and I can, you know, because it will still carry on the culture.
That's the important thing. I mean, honestly, me as a person who comes to the reggae spots, I come to the reggae spots because I enjoy the music, you know, I enjoy the atmosphere, but I also go because I want to support, you know. I don't want to see the reggae music dry and die out in Sacramento because I live here.
Right,
you know? I don't want to have to go to the Bay Area. So, you know, so it's a
and that's what we need in Sacramento is just more support, you know, if we want to see this culture going, because there's a lot of times I want to give up. All my friends in LA says, what are you doing in Sacramento? Just pack your bags and come to LA. Like, we have a team here waiting for you to live the LA lifestyle. But there's just some part of me that just won't let go because, you know, it's just, as I said, it's supply over demand. You know, it's like, why go to LA where it's all fluctuated? The market is all, you know.
Yeah, we need you here.
Clubs everywhere. So you say, but that mean I have to get the support from the people, you know, because if you don't get the support, it's not going to make sense.
Okay, so I have another question for you. So I like dance hall. You play a lot of dance hall. For people who don't know what dance hall is, because when I tell people I like reggae and I go to reggae clubs, the first thing that pops in their head is Bob Marley. And they're like, how do you dance to that? Will you just sit around and sway back and forth? I'm like, oh no. We bust a sweat. You know, we do all kind of stuff up in the reggae club. So explain to people the difference between dance hall and the Bob Marley kind of reggae.
Yeah. Okay, musically wise, every music have a root of where it came from. You know, in every genre, it's kind of like R&B. That's rhythm and blues. You know, people who pioneered that kind of music. So it transcended to modern R&B, and then you have hip hop. You know, so reggae is kind of like the root for dancehall. You know, as of course, people like Bob Marley, you know, king of reggae, made reggae popular and the reggae culture popular all over the world. But now dancehall is a more modern, up-tempo sound that you can actually dance to.
You can wind.
Yeah,
Wind
pretty much.
Yes.
So, you know, when in you know, you go on out and you want to dance the night away at a reggae club, so it's a dancehall segment you're gonna hear. Otherwise, it's gonna be roots, you know, roots reggae. You know, roots reggae is uplifting music, positive music, something that you can sit at home, you listen, and it just really does a lot for your mind, you know, because what they're saying. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. So I was just talking about winding, and a lot of people, again, if they're not part of the reggae thing, they don't know what winding is. Now, coming from Jamaica and seeing women wind, is it a sexual thing? Because I know, like, here, twerking is kind of a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Is winding a sexual thing, or what is it? Growing up seeing that.
No, we wouldn't say it's a sexual thing, but, you know, in other words, Jamaica is a very sexual country, not in a bad way, because at the end of the day, say for instance, it's a different experience here. Say when we go to the dance halls in Jamaica, all right, the woman that enters the party, club, whatever scene, she come to dance. The guys who go there, we go there to dance. So when man meets woman, we dance the night away, and the guy goes a separate way. He don't pull on a woman's hand and disrespect her because you dance with him. That mean he's looking for more. And so it's you know, so everybody, you look on a dance floor, everybody's dancing because that's what the culture allows.
Very close.
You know, versus here in the U.S., you know, someone is on a dance floor and you try to dance with them and you probably give you the hand in the face like, oh, hey, get out of my space.
Yes.
But so it's I'm not bashing it. It's just a cultural difference, you know. So whining is a thing. I mean, it's, you know.
Can I whine good? You see me dance, but can I whine good?
You're doing your thing. Are you watching those YouTube videos?
Shut up.
Getting your practice on?
I've been whining for a while. Be quiet. So I have some questions for you. Yeah. And I'm only going to give you 30 seconds to answer them. And I want you to answer them truthfully. I want you to answer them very, very quickly.
Okay. I'll try my best.
Truthfully, honestly, and quickly. Okay? So let me grab my phone.
So you have to write them down?
So I can give you 30 seconds.
Okay.
I don't want to cheat you. All right. So let's see. So while I'm doing this, I have another question before I forget. Tell us about your first DJ experience. Were you nervous? Where was it, and what were you doing?
Oh wow. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you the biggest DJ experience.
Okay.
I was in New York. BB King's, 5,000 people, and nervous, but I got into it. A crowd erupted, and that was my biggest moment.
Wow.
Okay, I'm not on the clock. Okay, I can elaborate.
Okay. So, you ready?
Go ahead, shoot.
Okay, here I go. Your favorite place in Jamaica?
Negril.
Boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
Who's your favorite reggae artist?
Buju Banton.
Do you prefer a woman with a bigger chest or bigger backside?
Different strokes for different folks.
Favorite Jamaican food?
Brown stew, snapper, rice and beans, plantains.
Favorite American food?
Sweet potato fries, grilled chicken.
Your favorite drink? Alcoholic drink?
Hennessy.
Ah! You got it with only 2 seconds, 1 second. Yay!
Was that a winning situation,
Yeah.
or what was that?
Well, you got them all, before the timer went
Oh,
off.
for the time, okay.
So, who do you think turned me on to Hennessy?
Good question. I'm a DJ, so I kind of like, how to.
It was you. You trying to fumble and fumble.
Manipulate a room, but I know how to put my patrons on to what they need to.
Yes.
Yeah, to get them in the mood.
Yes.
Yes.
And
hey, try this. Try this with this. How about some Hennessy and cranberry? You ever try that? Hennessy and Red Bull. Try that.
Yes. So every time I sip on my Hennessy, I think of DJ Hype.
There you go. That's changing lives, right?
Okay. So now reggae news. I think it's December the 8th. The reggae king is being let out of prison, Buju Banton.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? And what do you feel about Buju Banton? His music and him as a person?
Oh gosh, Buju Banton is been incarcerated for 10 years.
Long time.
Yeah, non-violent crime, of course. He didn't kill anyone. So he as part of reggae music, he's a deep part of the culture.
Yes.
He's very inspiring. So you feel like part of the culture is locked away.
Yeah.
It kind of like if Tupac was alive, or if Biggie was alive and they were incarcerated, that a part of hip hop is locked away and they're finally freed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they do a lot for the culture. So Buju Banton is like that, very influential. So definitely looking forward to that. He make the greatest albums, like a non-skip album. You can just buy his album, put it in your car, and let it run. Non-skip, just quality music.
Yes, my first reggae CD that I ever bought was Buju Banton. I think I was 18 years old. I knew I loved reggae. I didn't know who to get, where to go. I just knew I went to Best Buy, went to the reggae section.
Wow, see?
I started flipping through the CDs, and all of a sudden I just went to Buju Banton, played it out, and then the next week I went back and I got Mr. Vegas. After that.
Yeah.
So he's influenced me. I can't wait till he gets out. I might even go to the Walk of Freedom tour that he might have. So next reggae news. What do you think about Spice and her possibly bleaching her skin? Because I have my opinions on it. What do you think about that?
Oh, well, I know the real, so
it's not about secrets?
It's not about the news, because this is the real. I know what's up, because as I say, when it comes to reggae dancehall, my ears is just pierced to the streets, and I have sources. Basically, you can call it a publicity stunt.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Because Spice is okay, meaning she is who she is. She has not changed. You understand? She has not changed her skin or anything. She was doing a segment in her upcoming video, and she had a makeup. So that was a makeup she was wearing, and then she took that. Basically, she had a point, like, just you should be loved for who you are, kind of deal, and you shouldn't have to change yourself to get accepted and love. So she had a message behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think it was very smart for her to do.
Yeah,
you know?
and her song went #1 on the charts, of
Yeah.
course. That song, yeah, she had a song behind it, and you know, as I said, publicity stunts. It's just no publicity is bad publicity, I guess. It worked.
Yeah. Now, talking about the ladies of reggae, if you had to choose or to spend the night or the evening with one of 3 reggae artists, what would it be? So, 1, Spice, 2, J. Capri, R.I.P., or Patra, the 1990s Patra.
Yeah.
Which one would you choose?
Of course, Patra. That's easy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't have guessed you to say that, but all right. I like Patra. I was raised listening to Patra also.
Yeah, she's a pioneer. So you know, experience teaches wisdom, and you become the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. So I always try to place myself around people who are uplifting, positive, and have a lot of information. You know, if you hang out with losers, what's going to happen? So if you get a choice of people to hang out with, and they're the knowledge-wise, you know, hang out with 5 millionaires, and guess what happened?
You become a millionaire.
Thank you very much.
Hey.
So she has good music knowledge. That's that's who I would have coffee with.
Okay.
No doubt.
So I have some Jamaican vocabulary that I want you to tell us what it is.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is yachty.
Yachty. Yachty mean I'm from the Caribbean islands. I'm from Jamaica. I'm from Yard. That's what we call it, Yard. Okay. So it's kind of like Yard, but we kind of like or take off the R and just put a W and say Yard. Mana Yachty.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're getting educated now. So you guys go to Jamaica, you know, and they talking, you know, you can kind of understand a little bit of things, you know. Okay. Pasa pasa.
Pasa pasa is just mix up. So like someone calling you with somebody else's business, and I'm saying, man, I don't want to even hear this pasa pasa right now. That's a bunch of pasa pasa, like just bunch of nothing beneficial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about bomba clock?
Oh, that's an expressive word.
Okay.
With a more a deeply expletive expressive word that you don't say to anyone, or you know.
Okay. So if you say that around like your grandma, your mom, you might get smacked in the mouth.
Yeah, that would be.
Okay.
Yeah, you get smacked for that.
Okay, so you say that around.
That would be disrespectful. Yeah, it can be a swear word.
Okay.
You know, it's just like someone say, you know, dang, you know, you can use that word in that expression, like.
Okay.
You know.
How about wangwan?
Oh, it's like saying what's up.
All right, that was easy. Waipri?
Waipri, it's kind of like a different way of saying what's up, but it's more embedded, like, you know, tell me what's the 411, like, just, you know, what's going on with you, really.
Okay.
Waipri, like, what we doing tonight? Yo, bro, Waipri. Okay, we're gonna hit so-and-so club and this and that and that and that and that.
Okay.
All right.
So my American friends, if I start using that stuff, now you know what I'm talking about, so don't be looking at me like I'm crazy. So
yeah, or it could be using a different term, like if someone looking at you and, you know, it's kind of like, yo, Waipri, like, what's up?
Okay.
You know, if someone's just staring and
yeah, like what you looking at?
Yo, Waipri. Do we need to have a conversation, or you know?
You know, he's been scrapping since he was in a pamper.
Stop it.
Okay, so big up yourself.
Oh, just big ups. Just giving big ups, like that self-explanatory, you know? You would think everybody understand big ups. Yeah, just big ups. Big up yourself.
Okay. Like uplift yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, big up.
Okay, so do you have any talents besides DJing and being a good businessman?
I would say cooking.
Uh-huh.
I'm like a Jamaican chef. Make the best Jamaican cuisine.
Now, ladies, my American ladies that aren't familiar with Jamaican men, I would say 10 out of 10 Jamaican men can cook really well. No, okay, I say 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. And why? How can Jamaican men know how to cook so well? Because I mean, I'm not bashing my American men, but Jamaican men like really. I mean, they could put some pounds on you. How is that possible?
Yeah, I think it came from a younger age of survival. Like, kind of like my daddy was a greedy man, and he was a hardworking man too. So what he would do is, me and my siblings, all right, he would buy the groceries, put in the house, and when he coming from a hard day's work, somebody got to cook. And we all, the siblings, we're all looking at each other, who's going to do it, who's going to do it. So we just had to learn and just, as I said, as a way of survival, it's as we already explained what Jamaica is like, survival of the fittest. So we had to take what we have and put it together because, okay, going back into Jamaica, there wasn't no fast food that we could run to. There wasn't no McDonald's or none of that stuff.
So you had to
So
learn.
somebody give you some flour and a piece of chicken, you better know how to make magic out of that. So
yeah. So on the topic of Jamaican men, men
here we go.
are
digging deep, huh?
They're smooth. They're very, very smooth.
Really?
Very smooth talkers, know the right things to say. So being out here in the States for as long as you've been out here, what is the difference between a Jamaican woman and an American woman?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Wow.
What's the difference? Just the culture.
Okay. And?
You're digging deep, huh? No, I mean, it's just, as I said, it just starts with the culture. Everybody have their, I would say, good and bad.
Okay.
So, an American woman might be good in this way, where a Jamaican woman might be bad in that way, or vice versa. Make sense? No?
Okay, I'm going to let you off for that one. Okay.
Tie you up a little bit?
All right. So, tell us about your events that's coming up one more time so we won't forget.
Oh, yeah. Just once again, every Sunday night, Streets Pub at downtown. It's 1804 J Street. That's where you can find me every Sunday night.
Dress sharp as a razor,
bringing
sharp
the
as a
vibe,
knife.
bringing the culture.
Yes.
And then
sipping on some Hennessy.
Yeah. And then I have next event. I have the Thanksgiving Bash coming up, and that's at the Pagoda downtown. That's November 25th, whatever that Saturday is, Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
All
right, so pull out your calendar.
And
so
that's,
you see what
yeah,
that is. Put it on your calendar and your phone.
That's the Pagoda on J Street.
Okay.
Yeah, check out my page too. The flyer's on there.
So how do they get a hold of you again?
Instagram, DEEJAYHYPE Music. Yeah, you can check me out on there, or you can just type in DJ Ipe as well on Facebook. Won't make it complicated, Snapchat, if you're a snapper. Every now and then I get on there and, but I don't do my promotions there. I more use Snapchat for my personal, when I got something to say, I go on Twitter. So it's still, everything is DJ Hype, DEEJAYHYPE.
All right. So thank you so much. Thank you
of course, it's a pleasure.
Keeping the dance hall alive in Sacramento. Thank you for bringing that original sounds, the original beats, the original music, and thank you for being you.
Yeah, and I appreciate the support.
As long as I've known you, you don't let people change you. You are who you are.
One-dimensional, Do you, don't watch what the next man is doing.
Exactly.
You're climbing a ladder. The very moment you start to kick back at him, you stop climbing. So you always just got to keep climbing, and that's what I'm about. But, thank you also.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good job.
So, Queen Myesha, first guest of Queenz of Queenz Radio. Very awesome. You guys keep on tuning in, and see you later. Bye.